Is DOT ready to rally and absolutely blast off? We're going to talk about that right now, and we're going to start by looking at the daily chart zoomed out a bit on DOT, and let's just take a look at what has been happening since October in DOT. Since October, we were down, let's say, just to round it off, around 3.5. Made a magnificent run up through November and December, almost to a high of 10, not quite, but almost, for a gain of 300% in just a matter of 2 months. After that happened, we did experience this fall, this retrace during January as Bitcoin fell. And we saw this downward trend being created on DOT, just like we saw on most altcoins and Bitcoin itself, with lower lows and lower highs pushing the price down. And then Bitcoin, after this fantastic run up starting on January 23rd, not coincidentally, that was the low for DOT, right here on January 23rd, has started rising. Now you'll notice something over those movements, and that's this. Have identified this red area right here. It's roughly from about 7.3 to about 7.6 as being a critical area that the market has reacted around lately. Now you can call that support and resistance, levels of liquidity. There's several names for it that people call it, but the fact of the matter is they are highlighted now because you can look in the past and see where the market has reacted against those levels or at those levels. You can see for DOT on the 9th, we went up to that level of December, 9th of December, and the market pushed it back down. Price went back up, was pushed back down, finally broke through this red level, but it wasn't just 2 days later that the market tested that level again and buyers pushed it up. It acted as a magnet for a while before it finally broke through, was tested here, was tested here. You get the point. The fact of the matter is this is a critical level for DOT that humans watch and thus algorithms have been programmed to watch. And we have closed above it over the last few days and are setting up for, it looks to me, a fantastic move, perhaps going to test this level. This level right here, like I said, this red, I think if I zoom out to the weekly, we'll find out that it's even critical, even back as far as November of 2022, February of 2023. So it's not just some random level I have marked on the chart. It's a level that DOT has respected over the last year and a half. Like I said, we have closed above it, which is very nice to see. This level, which was resistance, has turned into support and could be a base for us moving higher in DOT. I think it all will depend, of course, on Bitcoin. Let's see. Crypto has a $2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin has a $1 trillion market cap. So it makes sense to say that Bitcoin is 50% of crypto. So whatever Bitcoin does, most other altcoins are going to be affected by it. And that's the reason you have seen DOT rise up since January, is because Bitcoin has as well. Where we are on Bitcoin right now is we are wrestling with a level of resistance right here at 52,000 roughly. You can see this level of resistance we have battled for the last several days. We are holding it very nicely, by the way. We're about into our 5th day of battling that level of resistance. If I zoom out on Bitcoin, you can see I've done this before because I already have it marked on this chart. You can see this is where we are. If I zoom out on the weekly, you can see this 52,000 level was important, again, way back in 2021. Way back in August of 21 and so forth, even back in March of 21. This level has been important where you see wicks all around it, which again means the market has reacted. And a 5th grader could see that we've gotten to this level and have stalled, right? We could experience a retrace down, and some people are calling for that. Or others are saying, look here, this is a matter of supply and demand. Since these ETFs were approved back in January, they are taking in $300, $400, $500 million of inflow into Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin has to go somewhere, that money has to go somewhere. There was a statistic, and I wish I had it up on Twitter. I don't have it right now, that showed on one day, last week, $500 million of money came into a Bitcoin ETF, which was more than 10 times what miners mine in Bitcoin a day. Okay, so there's supply, or the demand is just outrunning the supply by 10 and 15 times over and over and over. And there's another statistic I read that was 80% of Bitcoin has not been traded in the last 6 months. That means 80% of Bitcoin people are holding onto, which of course, why wouldn't you? But that only means that there's only 20% of Bitcoin floating around to even be traded. So when this $500 million of money comes into Bitcoin every day, it's got to go somewhere, and there's not a lot of somewhere for it to go. And so that causes price to run up like this. It's just capitalism 101, basic supply and demand. And some people are saying that that's going to continue because regardless of the halving coming up, and regardless of historical prices, and regardless of the fact that we're overextended on the daily for Bitcoin, and regardless of the fact that there is divergence on the daily RSI, blah, 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 they're saying, look, the fact of supply and demand outruns everything. It's more important than anything, and that's going to cause Bitcoin to push higher. So the point is this: if you are in DOT, I think it's just a matter of when is DOT going to take off, not is DOT going to take off. We can't exactly say the when, but we can be pretty confident that sometime in 2024, we're going to definitely break this high. And we are probably going to start attacking some of these other highs that are even much further above. Now, will DOT go parabolic? I think we all just have to sit back and say we don't know at this point. Will altcoins go parabolic? Will the high of Bitcoin be 70,000 or 100,000 or 150,000 or higher? Nobody knows. I'm telling you guys, nobody knows. People can say what they think on YouTube. People can say what they think on Twitter. Companies can put millions of dollars behind what they think, but nobody knows. But I do think this, I'm pretty confident of this, sometime in 2024, DOT's going to be breaking these levels and moving higher and higher. Is it going to happen this week or next week? Who knows? Right now, we're set up perfectly to move higher and start attacking this price right here. And let me show you what happened on another coin that I watched carefully, VET. It had much of the same run up, right, in December. It had its high right here in December. It also fell. It also bottomed on the 23rd of January. It also had a run up it went through. It also had to break a critical level right here. This blue level was very critical for VET. And when it broke it on the daily chart, it absolutely took off. Now, I was thinking VET would take off, or I was hoping VET would take off and challenge its high right here, its most recent high. Instead, it did that, and VET has gone up 40 to 50% in the past 3 to 4 days. And if you are in a solid project like DOT, and you are in a solid altcoin, if you're somewhere you need to be, there is no telling when your coin will be picked up to take off. It's hard to prognosticate or predict or say this is exactly when it's going to be, because I certainly didn't expect VET to go up 40 to 50%, but I wasn't surprised that it did. Does that make sense? Like, you can't expect it to happen, but you're not surprised when it does, because crypto is just absolutely bananas right now. From October to December, we saw crypto going up 200, 300, 400. In the case of Solana and Avalanche, going up 500 and sometimes 600%. I mean, DOT, we've already talked about, went up 300%. I mean, what crypto can do right now is absolutely amazing. So you don't want to time the market here. You want to be in the market and wait. You want to be in the market and hold. But from a technical perspective, there's nothing standing in the way of DOT right now. It's got clear skies going up. Even if we do experience a drawdown, if Bitcoin starts falling back into the 40s, be patient. You're fine. Everything's going to be okay. Don't get bored. Don't get anxious. Just wait. There's great times ahead for DOT and crypto in general over the next 12 to 18 months.